Psychotherapy, in my opinion, is the best and fastest way to work on one's development, to improve one's personality, and to eliminate harmful patterns of perceiving and experiencing relationships with other people and behaving within them. Psychotherapy comes in various forms, but as I have researched and concluded, psychotherapists rely on three main principles of psychological change: learning, insight, and catharsis. Whichever psychotherapeutic approach they apply, they will combine methods and techniques that rely on these three principles. In this era of integrating approaches in psychotherapy, this is even more the case. Thus, depending on the case and the specific moment in the psychotherapeutic process, a psychotherapist will try to teach the client something or a skill, or to help the client understand something, gain insight, or to encourage the client to experience previously repressed feelings, to experience catharsis. Cognitive behavioral methods and techniques are known for aiming to teach the client something, a different way of perceiving, thinking, or behaving, without delving too deeply into the causes of the client's difficulties, their past, or memories. Psychoanalytic psychodynamic methods and techniques are focused on insight. The psychotherapist helps the client gain new insights about themselves, their early experiences with significant people in the family, to connect how they perceive other people with how they perceived their parents, and so on. Existential humanistic therapies primarily utilize insight and catharsis. For them, every client is a unique individual. They avoid categorizing clients into groups or types. They raise existentially important questions about the client's life, and they encourage the client to talk freely about themselves without imposing their own theory of change. Although the founders and proponents of these three main currents in psychotherapy have striven and continue to strive to be theoretically and methodologically pure in practice, this is generally not the case. And there is, especially today, a great mixing of approaches, methods, and techniques. Some openly declare themselves as eclectics, meaning they use different techniques without attempting to integrate them into a new approach, while others state they are integrative psychotherapists and use different techniques in a modified way within their comprehensive theoretical and therapeutic framework. Regarding the value and significance of different principles of change, methods, and techniques, I believe their value does not come from themselves, but from when they are used, in which therapeutic situation, with which client, at which stage of treatment, etc. Because any of the brilliant psychotherapeutic techniques that exist can be used at the wrong moment, on the wrong client, or in the wrong phase of treatment. Now, let's say you are a good enough psychotherapist, that you use all principles of psychological change, that you use different techniques timely and in the right phase of treatment. Will psychotherapy be successful? The answer can be both yes and no. Why? Because successful psychotherapy depends on several other factors, such as A. The client's receptiveness to psychotherapy. Some people seem to be talented for the role of a client in psychotherapy. They are enthusiastic. They use it to the maximum. But there are many people who give up very quickly because they don't find themselves in what psychotherapy offers, or someone persuaded them to start, so they came for appearance's sake, as a task, and not genuinely. B. The client's readiness or unwillingness to commit to psychotherapy in the current phase of their life, because it truly requires dedication, perseverance, and can also be painful, etc. C. The financial inability of some clients to remain in treatment for a longer period. D. Misconception, i.e., the wrong expectation that psychotherapy must yield results in a few sessions. Although this is sometimes the case, psychotherapy usually needs to last longer, especially if deeper, greater, and more lasting results are expected, such as a significant change in personality. And now, given that a large number of people expect psychotherapy to be short-lived, that it is not necessary to commit to it more seriously and for a longer time, and that it must work regardless of the client's affinity, engagement, and activity during treatment, it is understandable that there are dissatisfied clients and that the level of dissatisfaction can be lesser or greater. However, if you discover that you have an affinity for this type of help, that you are ready to commit to it for a longer period, that you are open to overcoming various resistances and problems together with your therapist, that you are not afraid of the discomfort of revealing yourself to a relatively unknown person because you trust them, and that you are not afraid of the painful side of the psychotherapeutic experience, then you have the main prerequisites to utilize all the advantages and power of different psychotherapeutic techniques, make great strides in your personal development, and create lasting changes in your personality.
I napravite trajne promene u svojoj ličnosti. Hvala.